gateway armies. Literally, you know, sentries, zealots, stalkers, you name it. They get shredded by hydras, and really high Templar are the only way to preserve this this gateway army. And we do see a push coming out here with quite a few sentry, and I believe the Zergling is seeing everything there. So we do see on the production tab more upgrades just coming in. Some Hydras are being produced to fight off this incoming push here, making a hallucinated Phoenix. And I am seeing that play a little bit more than I used to these days. I think players are starting to see the value in getting hallucination. It is 100 minerals, 100 gas at the cybernetics core. But it's pretty invaluable scouting information, and you really can't put a price tag on scouting information, because obviously scouting is so important in StarCraft 2. When you feel like you're in the dark, that's a great time to scout, and you theoretically should pretty much always feel like you're in the know what's happening around the map, know what units your opponent is producing. You gotta just note these tech patterns that you're seeing, and we are seeing this army kind of just meander around with a probe. So not sure what this probe is up to, and these Zerglings will see this. About to get roasted though, so maybe a sneaky expansion, or he's going to scout this Zerg player sneaky expansion, which I failed to mention. Sorry about that. We do see this coming up, and very perceptive. I'm very perceptive of the Protoss player here to check this out. Oh my! That's hilarious. So he just came here to throw down a proxy pollen so he can warp in units here. I think neither player knows about... Oh, I think the Protoss player actually has seen this expansion coming up, so we might see a warp in here fairly shortly. Yup. Some zealots to take down this hatchery. And I think the Zerg player is way out of position to even try to take care of these zealots. Very good play by oGsInCa, throwing down a bunch of force fields here to really block up these roaches from getting in there. Cutting the Zerg army in half here. Dispatching with it pretty effectively, considering just how much larger the Zerg army is right now, but kind of running out of energy on those sentry. And wow, this Zerg player is continuing to put the pressure on with all these Hydralisks, and this could be very bad for our Protoss player. Maybe these warped in units weren't quite as effective as I previously had stated, because he really could have used some extra units up here to deal with this huge attack coming in here. Great play by the Zerg player, completely letting this go down, realizing that there's nothing he could do, and putting some pressure on the Protoss player. And this has got to be GG, pulling all the probes off the line, completely getting annihilated in the worker... Oh, actually not getting annihilated in the worker count. Protoss player has been macroing very hard with his probes. However, this army is fairly unstoppable coming from the Zerg player. Colossus coming out a bit too late here. If he had these Colossi in the original confrontation, it could have been a totally different story. But as we can see here, he's pulling all these probes to deal with this army tanking damage for the Colossi right now. Rather effective, but as I previously stated, the Protoss player is just so far behind at this point. I think we're about to see a GG coming from the Protoss player here, and continuing to just shred this base up. Maybe having a little bit of friendly banter. I don't read Korean, so help me out on the channel if you... Throwing down a Nexus here, but I'm just not sure what he thinks he can do at this point. He's so behind. As we can see, he has 4 workers in play right now. Just whole base is shredded by this huge army. And if we look at the production tab, the Zerg player is throwing down 2 more expansions just to make sure he can stay in the game. And wow, what's going on there? throwing down a little formation of pylons here. I'm not even sure what to make of this. But I do have a theory. So this character right here we see with GG. It'll be this character followed by a repeat of that character. And that means GG in Korean. So maybe oGsInCa making an homage to SopiaWeRRa here by just throwing down the GG sign on the map in pylons. Very cute. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this cast, and I hope you learned something as a Zerg player or a Protoss player, in fact. Alright, more casts to come. Have a good one.